There's a lot there. But longer form stuff, questions that I don't have the answer to.
So ask them in a piece.
I don't write questions. I write answers.
Questions like what?
Like, why does a Latino man deputize himself to stalk a black boy to protect an all-white community? What is that?
The racist bias I want you to explore, excavate for the readers.
We call everything racism. What does it even mean anymore? It's the default. When did that happen?
Hey, Brett. Don't me. All right, so wait, so you're saying that he isn't a racist?
No, I'm not saying that he's not a racist. I'm questioning why is everything racist?
And that is a clip from Origin. I'm delighted to say its writer and director, Ava DuVerney, is with us. Ava, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's very nice to see you again. You spoke to us last for A Wrinkle in Time. The new movie is Origin. Introduce us. I realize this could take up the whole of the 15 minutes, but introduce us to this extraordinary film that you've made.
Oh, well, thank you. It's really the biography of a book. It chronicles the life and work of the author, Isabel Wilkerson, as she writes this extraordinary book called Cast. And so you actually watch a person have an idea and pursue it with passion. And while she was pursuing this idea, she experienced great love and great loss. The writer was very kind and generous in giving me about 2 years of her time to share with me her process. And I poured her process as well as the book that she wrote and all the big aha ideas of the book into the screenplay. And that's Origin.
Okay, so the book, the full title is Cast: The Origins of Our Discontents. What is it about this book that made you think you wanted to make it as a movie? Because as someone who's been received great acclaim for your documentaries, that would be one way of making this film, but you obviously wanted to do something different. Tell us, at what stage in the reading of this book did this film appear in your mind?
Yes, I read it. This book came out in the summer of 2020. This is the first summer of the pandemic and the summer that saw the murder of George Floyd. I read the book 3 times. In the middle of the second time, I really felt like the information in it needed to be conveyed. But even more than that, I wanted the emotion in it to be conveyed. And so in order to convey emotion, I don't go to documentary as the tools that I use. I go to narrative film. And so it was very clear to me that the storytelling techniques that I wanted to primarily work with were the countenance, the faces, the emotions of actors. And so we built the film that way.
Okay, and just to explain the central idea behind Origin and the idea that caste is the origin of our discontents.
Yeah, basically Isabel Wilkerson synthesizes decades worth of research on caste. And caste is really the foundation of all of our isms: racism, sexism, homophobia, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism. All the isms sit on top of this idea called caste. Caste basically says that I am better than you based on a set of random traits that I cannot control. My gender, my height, where I was born, who I love. These categorizations have been used to accrue power and status to some and to diminish the humanity of others. So that's what caste is. And in the book, Isabel Wilkerson explores this idea as an anthropological thesis. It's a pretty dense book. It's about 500 pages. And what we do in the film is actually watch her write the book. And so as she's uncovering the mysteries of history and really helping us understand caste, she's also, as a writer and as a woman, experiencing some very tough scenes in her own life. And so those two are braided together to make Origin.
One of the things we see dramatized in the film is her explaining to others how her thesis is expanding and meeting some quite strong resistance. There's very specifically a pushback against the idea that there is a comparison between racism in America and what happened in Nazi Germany. And there are scenes in which we see her really having to struggle to explain her point of view. How raw was the nerve that she touched when addressing those subjects?
Well, I think, the film actually shows someone trying to convey a big idea in the midst of opposition. I mean, in that way, we see many films, where folks are trying to get to something, prove something. I mean, Christopher Nolan does it beautifully in Oppenheimer. There is a person who has something that he needs to do, say, convey, explain that no one else can see but him. And so I think so often, those kinds of films are really embodied with men as a lead character. And in this film, you see this Black woman pursuing an idea, and at almost every turn, she is told, it doesn't make sense, people disagree, it's not enough for a book, it's too convoluted, you'll never be able to do it. And yet, Isabel Wilkerson, in her truth in real life and in our film, powers through and gets to something quite beautiful, quite extraordinary in her book.